Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. And I'm actually super excited for this video because, as I mentioned in my previous video, this video is going to be the first video of the second series in which I show you how to work with my digital mini album planner and plan and craft your own interactive mini album with it. But this time we are not working with a physical paper collection, but with a digital paper collection. And I just can't say it enough, but working with a digital paper collection and printing your own papers using this digital mini album planner is an absolute game changer. It's really amazing and it changes the way of crafting completely, in my opinion. And the first thing I love so much about this is that I'm actually able to work with an older collection by Echo Park, which is called Alice in Wonderland, and there are actually two collections, so Alice in Wonderland No.1 and No.2, and it's a beautiful collection. I really wanted to work with it for years now, and I was actually looking for the physical collection all over the internet, and I found a few papers in an online shop in the UK and paid a lot of shipping, but because I only had these few papers, I didn't really want to use this collection until now, but now I got the digital collection and I'm printing my own papers, so I'm completely flexible and I can make as many albums with this collection as I want to. Okay, so let's just start by decorating the album front and back cover. And for the album cover, I actually already knew which cards I want to use or like which style I'm going for. So there are a couple of images, and some of these like illustrations from the first collection and also from the second collection actually are really beautiful and really give like this storybook vibe. So I knew that I wanted to use this image of Alice sitting underneath the tree reading her book. And I already talked about the basics on working with a digital collection in this digital mini album planner, and I showed you some features you could use. So I don't want to like repeat myself in this video too much. I just want to show you how I decorate this album. But if you're interested in the basics first, you should definitely make sure that before continuing watching this video, you go and watch my information video on my digital mini album planner. But yeah, I basically just use the journaling card I want to use here, and as you can see, you can just enlarge it, which would never be possible with the journaling card in the size 3 by 4 inches in the physical collection. But with the digital collection, I could just make it larger to place on the back cover, and then I also just changed the color of the cover to the same color as the back one of the journaling card, so that I would be able to use it like on this square format. Now for the front cover, I decided to go with this journaling card. However, I didn't want Alice to be in the center here. I actually just wanted to use the flowers of this journaling card because I thought they were really beautifully arranged, the flowers and the leaves. And what you could do is you could use the Magic Grab tool, and this is an amazing tool in Canva because you can just either click or brush over the part of the image you want to use, and then it will actually detach it from the card with a transparent background, and then you can just use it however you want to use it, and you will see that in a minute. I just want to mention here that this is a Canva Pro feature, so as I said in my previous video, like for all the different features you would need to use this album planner, you can just work with the free Canva subscription. It's completely free, but then there are some tools, especially these AI tools, which are pro features, and I really love using them. But you can like still do something else instead and decorate your album as well without these features, but I still want to include them. However, I will show you an option for this cover once I have finished it. Now I'm grabbing one of my scallop frames, which are also included in this digital mini album planner, and I'm actually using it in the size 4 by 6 inches, and then I just place it on the front cover, and this is going to be for the title of this album. And then I'm changing the color of the background to the same color I used on the back cover. And then I'm arranging the flowers which I cut out from the journaling card behind this scallop frame, and I'm just using copy and paste here, and also in between I used the flip tool on the toolbar on the top here so that I can get the flipped images of these florals. And again, you have to make sure that you first lock your background so that these florals actually don't get dragged into the background, but instead just lay on top of the background. And also make sure to change the layer so that they are behind the scallop frame. And because I didn't like the scallop frame to be that large, I actually changed the size for it to be a little bit smaller. And because I'm going to use my electric die cutting machine, my Silhouette Cameo for, it doesn't really matter what size I'm using here. But of course, if you're using a die cut from your stash to cut out like these scallop frames, then you would stick to the size of the scallop frame die cut you have. But for me, it's totally flexible, and I actually love that I can use my Silhouette Cameo with this digital mini album planner as well. Once I was happy with the arrangement, I was just looking for what to place on the title. And of course, if you're making this album, let's say for a little girl, then you could just type in the name and use one of the many fonts in Canva for the title, or yeah, whatever this album is supposed to be for. But I just went with the Alice in Wonderland title, which was also a journaling card from the collection. And I actually had this as a journaling card in the collection, so on the papers, but there were also a sticker in the digital collection with the same like title, but the arrangement of the flowers and butterflies are a little different. And it's actually on a transparent background, so I decided to use this one instead. And with the flowers in the background, I actually felt that this would be a little too much with the extra flower on here. So I used the Magic Eraser tool, again, another one of these AI features from the Canva Pro subscriptions. And then I just removed the flower and some of the butterflies. I actually did remove all the butterflies, but then for the blue butterfly, I decided to bring it back by using this as a separate sticker. Now let's decorate this spine really quick, and here I wanted to use another journaling card. I wanted to use the rabbit journaling card here, and again I just changed the background to the same cream background I already used on the front and back cover, and then I just placed the journaling card on there. And then I also copied the flowers from the front cover, and I just placed them in the top right corner on the spine and the bottom left corner on the spine so that they would look like they are like coming from the edge of the spine. And I really like the look of it, and I think it goes very well with the front cover. And then I also copied the blue butterfly from the front cover and added it on the spine as well. I just arranged it, and then I was actually quite happy with how the spine looked. And then I was looking for some text to add to the back cover, and for this I actually grabbed the journaling cards because there are a couple of quotes here from the storybook, and I was actually looking to use the quote, "She fell asleep and got lost in Wonderland," and I found it on this journaling card, but I didn't want to use like this whole journaling card on here, but instead I actually wanted to use just the text and in a similar font. And there's a pretty amazing tool for that. Again, it's a pro feature, but you could also like just find one of the fonts you want to use, but it makes it a little bit easier to actually use this grab text tool because this is now looking for the closest font in Canva. So as you can see, I can just remove it from the journaling card now, which can also be very handy if you want to remove text from the journaling card and then use the journaling card. But I am mainly using this tool to find like fonts which would go well together with the collection. And as you can see, it found me two fonts. The first one is Parisienne, and then the second one is called Sunday. So yeah, and then I just left the text because this is the quote I wanted. I just changed the line spacing and the letter spacing a little, and also added the "I fell asleep" back to the top of this little text box. And then to go with the style on the front cover and the spine, I again just copied the flowers and added them to the corners of the back cover as well. And I also added these blue butterflies to the left top corner and just arranged them and changed the size of those. And then I was really happy with how this album cover turned out. And then, as said, I had a second look if I could also have achieved the same kind of style for the front cover if I wouldn't have the pro features. And you could totally have done this with this collection kit because there is this other floral sticker which already is on a transparent background. So yeah, I will just show you that it's included in the ephemera pieces from the digital collection. And this could have also worked really well. To be honest, I don't like the yellow color in it, so I prefer what I did with the other florals. But yeah, this would be an option, and you always have options so that you don't have to use these pro features if you don't want to go for the pro subscription. Now let's continue with the first double page in my album, and of course first I have to choose the interactive page style I want to use on here. And if you're new to my channel, I'm basically choosing from 50 different interactive page styles every time I'm making an album, so that each album is completely different to the album I previously made. And the page style I chose here is my interactive page style number 31, which comes with like the pocket in the middle here and with a beautiful envelope style closure. And yeah, that's what I chose. And then I tried out some different paper combinations, and again, it's so easy to do because you can just use drag and drop and find combinations you like. And I actually really liked these mushrooms here on the bottom. So these were from this little paper strip of one of the 12 by 12 inch papers. So yeah, I just had a look like which papers to use along with this strip. And then I thought maybe I can also make something like this on the top of the pocket. But yeah, the images of all the characters, that was just way too much. And I decided to delete it again and use another paper instead. And actually, I decided to just first change the color of the background to the same color as the background on the mushroom paper. So yeah, that's what I did here. And then I had to use one of my favorite features in this digital mini album planner. And again, you want to make sure that you watch the information video. So yeah, that you already know what I'm talking about. But it's basically these basic patterns which I designed for you, and they're customizable. So what I can do now is I can use this plate pattern paper and just change the color to the colors of the images I'm using. So as you can see, I use this color picking tool to pick some colors from the mushrooms, and then I can just change both colors on this plate paper. And I actually decided to go with this like greenish yellow, like yellow green color. And then I can simply download it and upload it again so that I would be able to actually drag it into these templates. As you can see, I just used it on the background or like the basic page of this page style. And then I actually decided to remove the paper with the mushrooms, but use it on the inside of this page style instead, as I said, because I actually didn't like that the mushroom in the middle was like halfly covered up by the closure of this page style. So yeah, I deleted it here and just changed the background to this cream color again. And then I actually did the same I already did on the front cover. And to be honest, that's because I decorated this double page first, and then I worked on the album cover. And yeah, I simply liked these flowers to be arranged on the front cover as well. But it might be a little bit boring for you to see now me doing the same here, because there would be so many more options. But yeah, to be honest, I don't show you the whole process of me decorating and trying out papers, because that would be just way too much and these videos would be so long and probably simply boring. So I just want to give you an overview of how I decorated, what I did, how I did it, and why I did it, but without me showing you all the process of me trying out some different decorations. So yeah, I just added the flowers on here, and if I would have done my album cover before, as I show you in the video, I could of course just have copied and pasted and I wouldn't have to use the Major Grab tool again. But yeah, I was quite happy with the look of this. So this is way more subtle, but then again, I will go back to the mushroom paper for the inside of this page style. But first, I also wanted to focus on the right side of this double page, and I actually wanted to use one of my new decorative elements I added to the digital mini album planner. And the one I wanted to use is this one with the circle windows on there, because I was thinking to have this kind of like the introduction page to the storybook, and I wanted to use some of the character stickers on here. So I just chose the character stickers I could use on this page here, and then I changed the sizes of those, and then I actually had to change the layers for them to be behind the paper with the cutout, so that I can actually arrange them in the frames, so in the circle frames. So that's what I did here, and I just rotated them a little and then also changed the sizes a couple of times until I was quite happy with the cutout of those characters. And then for the middle frame, I also wanted to add some text, and I actually decided to go for the same text, the Alice in Wonderland, I also used on the front cover. So yeah, I could just copy it from here and add it in there. And then with this frame, I also like to have some ephemera pieces or stickers to actually lay on top of the frame, so that I get a little bit of dimension. Yeah, and I decided to go with the butterfly again. Now, I was actually quite happy with how this double page turned out, but because we are going to print our papers, I wanted to show you an option for this decorative window frame element, because what you could do is you could grab one of the scallop frames, but this time not the scallop frames with like the full filled frame, which I would use for cutting them out and placing them on top of the pages, but instead I'm using this scallop frame, which is just the line art, which I can then print onto my papers. So that's what I'm using here, and then I just changed the size and actually changed the color to white. And I just placed it around each frame, so this actually will be going to be printed out on the pink pattern paper. Now, I wasn't so happy with the use of the plate pattern paper on both basic pages, so I wanted to use another pattern paper on one of those pages, and I was actually looking to create one by using another one of my basic paper templates, and the one I chose is this one with the like dots on it. And I actually just changed the colors of this to the same colors I used for the plate pattern paper, so to green and cream, and then I just dragged it into the right page. Now, as said, I also decorated the inside of the interactive page tile on the left page here. So I just went to my template of the open page style, and then, as said, I first grabbed this mushroom paper for the bottom of this page. And then for the top flap, I adjusted the background color to the cream color, and then I added the butterflies again. And I'm so sorry that I used this butterflies that much, but to be honest, like there are a lot of butterfly stickers or ephemera pieces in the collection, but I definitely like the style of this blue one the most. And some of the other butterflies, especially from the first collection are kind of like too small to use here. So when working with the digital mini album planner, you can be really flexible with most of the digital collections by EcoPark, Simple Stories, and so on. And you can really enlarge the papers as well as the ephemera pieces. But for some of the butterflies, it wouldn't work. So you always have to double check with the pixelation so that you don't use stickers as large. So yeah, I didn't have many options, but with the mushrooms on the bottom here, I really wanted to have something like in the sky. So I used this butterfly on the top. And then I decided to also add some text here. And I was just looking for some text to use from the ephemera pieces. And I was actually looking for text on a transparent background, but then I also saw this like dream big text here, and because it's the same background color, I could just cut it down so that it would be the same as being on a transparent background. So I could also have used one of the AI tools, but you don't even have to use them when you're using the free Canva subscription, because as you can see, like sometimes you can just make it work by using the same background color. And then sometimes what I like to do is I actually like to use some patterns from the images. So what I mean by that is I had a look at these mushrooms and I thought like the pattern of the mushrooms, so like the red with the white dots, actually looks like the pattern paper I just created for the right page of this double page, and I could use it again and actually use the same colors as the colors used in the mushroom images, and that would give like the look of the pattern of the mushroom, you know what I mean? So that's something I really like doing. So sometimes I'm looking for patterns in the illustrations I'm using, and then of course I always look for the colors and try to match those things. And with that, the first double page is already decorated, and we can now continue decorating with the next double page, which is double page number 2. And the page style I chose for double page number 2 is the page style number 39. Now, as I said, the first double page in this album was like the title page or like the introduction to the story. So I had the characters and the title Alice in Wonderland on there. And now for the following pages, I actually wanted to follow the storyline. So I was looking for illustrations to use to actually recreate the story. And of course, in these collection, you can't find like images or illustrations of all the different story chapters or storyline of the story of Alice in Wonderland, but there are some, and I really want to have this in a chronological order. And that's why I again used the same journaling card I already used on the back side of the album cover. And I feel really sorry that this might be boring to you as well, but just continue watching the next parts for this series. And there are so many other beautiful illustrations in this collection and a lot of decorative things I did in this album, which you would probably enjoy. But yeah, for this page, I just felt it would be perfect to use this card again, because that's the start of the story, Alice reading her book and falling asleep. And yeah, I also used the same quote to place underneath here, because I simply like the look of the font or the text with this journaling card. And then I was trying out some paper combinations, and I actually really like these flower papers, but they feel a little too much. So I was just using them first, and I think I could have made it work. But yeah, for some reason, I ended up changing it to a more basic pattern. And this again was a pattern I created myself by using the pattern paper template with the dots again, and actually grabbing the colors from the flowers on the journaling card. And again, it's not really the pattern, but it's like the color combinations from the flowers is the color combination I wanted to use on my basic pattern paper here. Now, of course, it's way too much pink, so I have to change the pattern paper I'm using on the right side, and I actually again designed my own pattern paper by again using this plaid pattern paper template. And I have to admit that I'm going to use this plate pattern paper as well as the one with the dots quite a lot in this album, because I just think they fit so well with this collection. And to be honest, like, I really like the flower patterns in the collection kit, but for the basic patterns I much preferred my own patterns and using the colors from the collection kit instead of using the basic patterns in the collection kit. So there are a couple and you could definitely make it work. But again, I'm just so happy to work with the digital collection and to be able to add these pattern papers myself, because that's something I would be never able to do with the physical collection. So with the physical collection, I would have to go with the basic pattern papers included in the collection. And then I just wanted to add another decorative element to the left page here. And what I decided to use is one of those decorative elements from my digital mini album planner. And I actually decided to go with this scallop frame, which is a corner frame, and I just placed it in the left corner. And then I just changed the color to one of the colors I used on the right side. So this is the color of the grass, which I've already used for making my pattern paper. And then I just wanted to add a sticker, and I actually decided to add this mushroom sticker on here. And with that, I had also finished my second double page in this album. Now for double page number 3, I chose the interactive page style number 38, which is a beautiful waterfall page with a magnet closure, and I really like using it because you can include a lot of different photos. So yeah, I just added it to my album, and then I started to look for paper combinations I could use on here. And I really wanted to use this floral paper, so that's what I added first. And then I was looking for a decorative element, so for an illustration to use as the centerpiece of this double page. And I really wanted to use the same journaling card I used for the base on my album cover, but this time with Alice on it as well, because I really like this journaling card with Alice underneath, like the flower arch, I think it's called. So yeah, that's what I added here. It was also the perfect size because it's in a square format and I have a square closing piece. And for the closure, I actually wanted to use another scallop frame. So that's what I'm grabbing here, and then I'm just adjusting the size and adding the journaling card to it. Now, when using waterfall pages, I usually would always like decorate the different flaps in the waterfall page very basic by just adding some colored solid papers. So, and again, with this digital planner and printing your own papers, it's just so easy to do. You can just color match the colors from the pattern paper you're using or from the illustrations you're using. So as you can see, I'm just grabbing some of the pink and reddish colors from the flowers on the journaling card. And then for the top flap, I first decided to use this greenish color from the flower bouquets on the right page. But then I actually am going to change it up, which you will see in a minute. And guess what I'm ending up using? I'm actually using the same journaling card and the same flowers again. And I'm really sorry, but I promise you that for the rest of the album, which I already decorated digitally, I'm not using these flowers again. So it just happens to be a lot on the album cover as well as on the first 3 double pages. And this time I'm actually using the magic eraser to remove Alice from the journaling card, and then I'm using the whole journaling card with just the flower arch to actually lay it on the top flap. So again, I adjust the color of the background so that it's the same color, and then I can just play with the size of the flowers and actually crop it down to my liking and have it being laid on top here. And I really like the look of it because it goes well with the closure strip in the middle, in my opinion. And for the closure strip, I actually decided to change the color to green. And then I also wanted to add something else on the closure strip here. And what I did is I actually grabbed the same text box I used on the previous page, and then I first had to change the color so that it would be visible on this green background, and I changed it to cream. And then I also changed the text because now this is already used on the previous page, and of course I want to follow the storyline. And what I added here is it's time for a magical adventure. And this was another quote on one of the journaling cards, and I just really love the font combination, so I will be using this a lot in this album and just changing the text every time I'm using it. And then I added another butterfly, and this time I'm actually using a different butterfly. So I'm choosing this red one, and this one is actually, yeah, fine. But as you can see, it's really pixelated, so I cannot use it that large, but that's fine because I don't want to use it as large. I just want to use it as a small butterfly right next to the text box. And with that, double page number 3 is already finished, and this is actually the last double page we are going to decorate in this first part of the series. But now I'm actually going to show you already what these first 3 double pages and the album cover look like once I have crafted them. And that's something I didn't do in my last series, but I figured that you probably don't want to wait to see the final results until the last part of this series. However, I think it's still important that at the end you will see the full album with all the pages in them, because for now I'm not actually adding my pages to the album, so I will just show them to you separately. So yeah, that's what the album cover looks like, and I actually just added some enamel dots on here, and then I also used a corner puncher to punch the corners of the pattern paper. And then I just want to mention here that it looks like there are some like stains on the title, but they're actually meant to be there. So I didn't show you that in the video in the planner, but I actually wanted my backgrounds to look more like this painted illustrations from the collection. So that's why I decided to use that look here. And I'm definitely going to show you how I did that in the next part of the series, because I'm using this style on a couple of solid papers throughout the album because, as I said, it really goes well with the style of the collection. Now that's what the spine looks like. I just printed out the paper I created in my mini album planner, and then I glued it on here. And also to the back cover, I didn't add much, just the printed out paper. But here I have to say, unfortunately, the like little glue stains you can see on the left side, or like on the white background or cream background, are not meant to be. I'm actually a little bothered by them. So what I noticed, like I never had the issue of seeing my glue through the paper, but because it's just this light background, and yeah, it's not like with an image or so, you can really see the glue on here. So I might have to change it, even though it's a little tricky now that I already attached my ribbon closure. But yeah, I think I will have to change it. Yeah, but that is just something which can happen. But then again, I'm so happy that I'm just able to print out this paper again, because if I would have used my physical collection, I would be very sad that I have wasted this paper, and I would probably not do it over. Now let's have a look at the finished double pages, and for the first double page I just added my printed papers I created in Canva, and then I decided to use some gold eyelets for the closure. And for the right page, I used my print and cut function in my Silhouette Cameo to cut out the frame as well as the little butterfly sticker, and edited it on here using some form tape. But I think I could have totally also just printed the frames as well as the characters and the butterfly sticker just on one paper, and then just glue it on here without having to use my dimensional tape. Now for the next double page, you can totally see that I also added some of these like stains to the background behind the mushroom sticker. And again, this is just to match the style of the collection. And what I also did is I actually chose another tag shape. So yeah, I chose this tag and I cut it out with my silhouette cameo as well. And again, I will add those tags to the digital mini album planner. And for all of you who already got the digital mini album planner, you will get these updates for free. However, I want to design this tag shape in different sizes, and this takes me some time, but once they're ready, they will just be included and you can just access them by using the original template link for my digital mini album planner. And then for the last double page, I also didn't do any changes once I crafted the album. I just changed the style of the solid papers again by adding these stains. You can see that on the green closure strip as well as on the pattern papers on the different flaps. And that's it for today's video. So as always, I of course hope that you enjoyed watching it, and if you did so, I would love to get your feedback in the comments down below. You can always make sure to let me know which page you liked the most or what you would have done differently, and also of course if you have any questions, feel free to leave them as well. And then to those of you who enjoy watching my videos but haven't subscribed yet, I would really love to get your subscription because I'm close to reaching 7,000 subscribers and that would make me so happy to reach. And with that, I just hope that you're having a wonderful day and that I see you in my next video. Bye!